Hi, good afternoon. How many of you like to eat hummus? Coming from a Middle Eastern background, I always had hummus in my house. When I was a little child, my mom taught me how to make hummus from scratch so it can be served for breakfast and also incorporated in our lunch. In a few minutes, I'll show you how to make hummus by telling you the ingredients, how to prepare them, and how to serve the hummus. These are all the ingredients you would need to make the hummus. The first thing you would need is tahini. This is the most important ingredient aside from the chickpeas because this is what you need for the hummus to be the texture that it is. This you can't find it everywhere in all the stores. You usually could find this in specific Giant Eagle stores that has the international aisles. You could find this, but like in a smaller container. Where you can always find this is actually in a Middle Eastern store. Any Middle Eastern stores that you pass by, they usually have this. Where I go is to Peterland, is close to where I live. They have everything that I would need for any Middle Eastern dish. The second thing is lemon. Lemon. This is very important for the hummus, so it gives it like a tangy taste to it. The third ingredient is salt. You don't need to put a lot of salt, just like a teaspoon of salt. And garlic. Garlic is what gives the hummus a very garlicky taste. You could either put half a head of garlic or a whole garlic. A lot of people put a head of garlic because they love the garlic in the hummus, but I personally just put half a head of garlic. The fifth ingredient is the chickpeas. Chickpeas you could find it anywhere, of course. And then olive oil, just like a teaspoon of olive oil. The last ingredient is sumac. Sumac is usually a lot of Middle Eastern families usually use this a lot for the hummus. This is not incorporated with the prepping of the hummus, just to how to serve the hummus. You just decorate the plate with this. This is like a red powdery type of spice that gives it like a very tangy, zesty taste to the hummus. So these are all the ingredients you would need, and then you would need a blender. The first thing you put inside the blender is 2 tablespoons of tahini and one whole lemon. When you put the 2 teaspoons in the blender and you squeeze the lemon, you do that first. Because when you do this, when you put the lemon and the tahini together, the tahini, it's very dark. It's like a dark chocolate color. So when you pour the lemon into tahini, it actually gives you like a very light color. When you do that, when it's blending, you could blend it for 15 seconds, and then you add the chickpeas. You add all the ingredients together. The chickpeas, teaspoon of salt, half a head of garlic. You don't really need to chop it. You can just peel off the garlic and put it on to the blender, since the blender does all the work. Now with the chickpeas, when you pour the chickpeas, leave the water that's on the can aside. So every 15 seconds when you're blending the ingredients together, you pour the liquid into it. I personally just use the liquid that's in the can. A lot of people use the water, like regular water, to pour it and don't use the water in the can. To me, it doesn't really matter, whatever you use. And then you add a teaspoon of olive oil just to give it like a creamier taste and everything. When that is done, you serve it. Now you just pour it into the plate. and then you smooth it around, and then this is where the sumac comes in. Sumac, you just take a small pinch and just put it on the sides and just sprinkle it all over. I'll show you. So it could be like this. And then you just put a little bit of olive oil into the hummus. My husband loves a lot of olive oil on it, but I personally just put like small dots of olive oil. And this is how I serve it for breakfast. How I serve the hummus for breakfast is typically with pita bread. You could find this anywhere in Kumu, Giant Eagle. A lot of stores have pita bread. I use this all the time for breakfast, not only for hummus, for anything else that I also make. And I normally use pita chips. Pita chips is like a dip. I use this a lot for snacks, and I use carrots and celery whenever I make my homemade hummus. So this is all the ingredients, the prepping, and how I served the hummus to make it very tasty. So in closing, I demonstrated you the important steps in order to make a successful and tastier hummus to share with your family. One day, I hope you start making hummus instead of buying store hummus, because making it from scratch is much tastier and healthier. I hope one day you will start teaching your kids how to make hummus the same way my mom taught me. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.